Good morning. This is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan. He's a Corgi. We're here for an episode of Conversations with a Corgi, and it is a very busy week for me. I really don't know how much longer I can do these, to be honest, because I'm just swamped. Anyway, first of all, we're going to do a hard hug out for my mom, Sally Morgan Sr., who, if you follow my sister, is in the hospital and just really struggling and needing a lot of support. Things are not going well for my mother. So, hard hug for my mom. Today I want to talk about something that I've been having to undergo, which is learning new things. You know that expression, you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Yes, you can. But it requires patience, understanding, clear directions. I have to say, I am 62 years old and I am completing my graduate degree and graduating on Thursday, and I have had to open a new email account at my old school. I have had to access that email account. I have had to read 200 emails I've received since April 20th when it was activated. I have had to figure out how to go in and change my address because they have an address from 1982 in there. I have had to figure out how to find a way to pay my bill online because you can't do it over the phone or with a check anymore. And it's just like a constant barrage of stuff I'm learning that are completely outside the realm of what I normally do. I have to say these Facebook Lives have been really helpful because it's taught me a lot about computers and my phone and how not to panic and to find things. And my computer guy, Brian, I have to really thank him, because he has taught me how to learn how to do stuff with any kind of technology, and he's done a brilliant job, and I highly recommend him. Anyway, when we're working with our animals, horses, dogs, cats, and bunnies, I mean, who even thinks of teaching bunny anything? But in fact, a learning experience for them is a new thing, like having our dogs walk through the labyrinth with us when we're doing T-Touch. And you have to just really understand what's going on when you're learning a new thing. And so many of us are in a routine. We have a way of doing things. You know, I used to say that when I was old, and I don't know when that's going to be, I'm going to teach myself to play the piano, and I'm going to start to learn about where stars are in the sky. And a lot of people are very uncomfortable learning new stuff, especially when they're getting older. They don't feel capable. But this is what keeps you young. This is what keeps your brain engaged. This is what keeps you functioning and going out into the world instead of collapsing inward. So it's so important to keep learning going. I mean, I used to say to a friend of mine when we were single and searching, I said, God, the desire to want to learn is so important to me that I think it overrides a lot of other things in finding somebody you want to hang out with. And he agreed, same thing. I mean, it doesn't matter where that person's at right now, but their desire to want to learn, do new things, try new experiences. And that doesn't necessarily mean new food, because I am not going to stop being a vegetarian. But I mean, I want to experience different things. And I mean, some things, this is so simple, but it was a huge learning curve for me. Not like the one I've been through the last 3 days. But when my truck died, and I had driven only trucks for 40 years, and I had to learn how to drive a regular car. I mean, everything was in the wrong place. Thank God from driving a truck, you learn how to use your mirrors for everything. Mirrors make you a much safer driver. And now, I mean, without a truck, there's no parallel parking out there. I can't get that Buick in. But in the beginning, I was like, where's this? Where's that? Looking in the car, where's the radio? Where, you know, and it's the same model. It's a Chevrolet type product. So it wasn't like I was in like a Hyundai trying to figure out where things were, but it was a little tough. And we have to remember this kind of stuff when we're working with our animals. So many of us with horses and with dogs are constantly trying to teach them new things. This little boy, he's 11, and he's learning how to do agility. He's learning how to do rally. He's learning how to do one step more in each of those things. He has completed his trick dog certification to the top level of the titles. He's a trick dog elite performer, aren't you? Yeah, you're very tricky with a lot of treats. But I have to remarkably appreciate this little boy because, you know, yes, he's a Corgi, he's a herding dog. They're really smart. They want to do stuff with us. But I feel like after what I've been through the last couple weeks, I have a new appreciation for what it is I'm trying to teach him and how he learns. And thank God for T-Touch, because one of the things we do with T-Touch is chunk it down. This is an old expression, but what it means is if they can't do the hard thing, like your horse can't cross the stream, let's make that easier. Let's just put a little water and have him walk parallel to it. Now, you can't manipulate a stream, but you can lift one leg and put it in the stream. You can walk near the stream. You can let him watch another horse walk back and forth. We've all done this when we've been riding. And eventually your horse will learn to walk through the stream. We do this much more easily with plastic, teaching them how to walk next to plastic, in between two pieces of plastic, over a piece of plastic, under a piece of plastic, and then eventually to walk on the plastic. And if you do this carefully and chunk it down so that each step is not scary or difficult, they will learn from that experience how to learn in all new experiences. We started using plastic and T-Touch with horses because we wanted to help them learn how to get in trailers. And initially we were building these wooden platforms. We thought it was the sound of their feet that was scaring them. We don't do that anymore. We still do. I mean, sometimes we'll put plywood on the ground, but the plastic is so useful. And the same is true with my dog. Now, just because he does 6 weave poles pretty darn well at this point, I mean, I'm proud of him because I have not taught him weave poles in the way anyone else I know, except my friend Karen, has done it. Most people use these lines on either side, and the dog has to run through to get a treat at the end, kind of like a rat in a maze. Are you a rat? No way. But I have done it by luring him through the poles. So going from 6 to 12 poles, which is what we need to do for our show in June, has been a real shift. And it's not just more of the same. I mean, he has to now bend his body. Luckily, he's not very long for a Corgi, and he's short, so the distance between the poles isn't a problem for him like it would be for like a boxer. But he has to do that 6 more times, and it's very difficult, and I really appreciate how hard it is for him. And last week, oh, thank you. Somebody's admiring your bow. Last week, or 2 times ago when we were at agility school, he just sort of fell out around pole 8, 9, 10, once or twice. And it was because of me. I was not on him. I was not saying, come, go, come, go, come, go. And, he's an old guy, and I have trained him to do agility the best I can, but I've had little help except for my friend Karen online and one day for 4 hours live 2 years ago. So I need to remember that I need to help him because this is difficult for him. This has never been his best thing with doing agility, and it's not for a lot of dogs, but I need to stay with him. I can't just put him in and let him run, and I see this with some of my colleagues at dog school. They do the same mistake. We all do the same mistakes. And, you start them in and they do 5 well, and then you're running to the next obstacle thinking they're coming. You can't do that because they're still learning. And the thing that I hate about the AKC is that, like with rally and agility, just when you kind of get comfortable, I wouldn't say mastered, but comfortable with a level, you get 3 tries and then you're on to the next level. So I'm constantly not comfortable. I'm in that state of learning that I am in when I'm trying to figure out how to navigate all these new passwords and emails that I have with UMass, and this whole new website to enter my information. How do things work? Where are things located? And it's consuming and difficult. And I got to remember that with my dog. We all do. And if you're just teaching him something, simple, like it's not simple, how to be with your cat, or teaching your cat not to run from your dog. Most dogs chase cats because cats run and, let's have a good time. So if you can teach your cat to sit still, find some kitty treats and do T-touches on your kitty, or pet him or stroke him. They love having their cheeks rubbed. And give him snacks while hopefully your dog isn't too aggressively poking them with their nose while the dog is in the area. If the cat learns not to run, and I just have to hang up on that person. I have a client coming in like 10 minutes who's probably lost. Anyway, so remember when you're teaching your dog or your horse or your bunny something new, to have incredible patience. Look at ways to make it easier for them if they aren't getting it. Have patience with yourself. Don't be mad at yourself when your dog's falling out of the weave poles. Be calm. Say, how can I make this easier for him? Do I need to put a whole trail of treats on the ground? and make sure your agility school allows that, because some do not want any treats in the training area because it stops other dogs. So just try to make it easier on your dog. I have to say, God bless you to these people at the IT department at UMass, because I have called them with some problems like putting a new email account on my iPhone. They were very calm. They're typing up their notes as they're listening to me. They help me go through it. They're like, no problem, call again. I mean, they're so courteous and helpful. And that's how I need to be with my dog when he's learning weave pulls and jumps, and maybe we'll revisit the teeter at some point, but he's a little guy and he's getting older. I don't really want to stress him, and he's actually good on my teeter, the one at my dog school, and the one in New Hampshire is just bigger and scarier, and that's where we go for the Corgi show, and I just don't know that I want to put him through that. But it sure is fun doing the dog walk and some of the other things, and A-frames are never good for older Corgis. And so I probably won't compete in standard with him. But it's fun to just do that once in a while, because it's fun for him, and it reminds me how great a dog he is to try all these things I ask him to do. Right? Get a little biscuit. So have fun with your dogs. Be patient when they're learning. Be patient when you're with yourself. You know, a lot of these people I meet at Rally are just new to Rally. They've just had pet dogs all their life. Some of them have done a little house training with, you know, sit, stay, come, you know, like minor obedience. And they have to be patient with themselves. The signs in Rally are really confusing if you don't understand them. The, you know, things like halt always mean sit. Very hard to remember that if you've never seen it before. So thanks for joining us today. Everybody have a great day. We finally have sunshine here after weeks of not. We're still 5-10 degrees below normal temperature. So have a great day. I think I will not be back until, what is it, a week from Friday? I'll be a master's degree holder by then. Hopefully they've got my correct address. They were going to send it to a place I lived 40 years ago. Everybody have a great day.